Father, what is the role of the altar server in the Mass?
Hello, my name is Father Tim, and welcome to another segment of the Wonders of the Mass. If you've been following along, we've just entered into the liturgy of the Eucharist. And today, we're going to be talking about a very important role within the Mass, in which we've already experienced them early on in the procession and throughout the liturgy of the Word. You might have guessed it, it's the altar server. And at the liturgy of the Eucharist, the priest who stands in the person of Christ is in need of assistance in preparing the sacrifice that is going to occur on the altar. The altar server is an official role within the Mass. It sprung from our tradition in the Old Testament, in which the priests who offer sacrifice in the temple were in need of those persons in helping gather the different items, the different vessels and different animals that are needed for the sacrifice. And so today, in our extension of that one sacrifice of the Mass, the priest in Christ's figure also needs some help and assistance. You've already seen them in action, such as in the carrying of the cross and candles at the beginning. They also help with incense that is normally used. The first time we would see it is at the opening procession or at the proclamation of the gospel. They also help prepare and set the altar, which we will experience. And also, they can sometimes help purify the vessels, or even, if they're instituted as an acolyte, officially to distribute communion. Because the Mass is the greatest prayer that the Church has, the altar server helps those who are participating in the Mass to enter more deeply into the prayer. And hence, they're not just merely functional or performers, putting on some sort of show, but they're assisting the priest in his directing of this prayer, this liturgical act. And hence, the way that they serve in their decorum, their piety, they wear different vestments too, as you notice. Sometimes they wear a cassock, which is this long garment with a surplice, a white, more or less sleeved shirt, or they can wear an alb and a cincture. How they're vested, how they're dressed, is leading them into the action in which they're going to participate in. And so sometimes even in Mass, we turn to the altar server, not just the priest, to know what to do, such as when to stand, when to sit, when to kneel, when to raise and lift up our minds and voices to God. Their service is directed first to God, then to help the clergy, and finally to assist the faithful gathered in worship. Throughout all of this, in their kind, humble service, they help to bring the liturgy to the people, and it's through their hands that the priest is able to perform his most sacred duties. Looking back, when I was a kid, I was an altar server ever since I had received my first communion. And I'm so grateful for that experience because it allowed me to be so close up to the action of the sacrifice itself. When I look at all of you, you might have an opportunity. Maybe you feel called to assist the priest in a very special way. In the Old Testament, being that close to the sacrifice was only privileged to a few, especially the priest and to his assistants. Everybody else had to be outside of the temple. And so to be inside the sanctuary, to be in that sacred ground where Christ dwells in a tabernacle, what a great privilege and honor. So you feel called to become a server yourself? I invite you to ask your priest, how can I help and assist you with the sacrifice of the Mass? And also, how can I help the people who are gathered for the sacrifice of the Mass in the way that I revere the Lord in my actions as a server? How can I help them to pray even more? My name is Father Tim. Thank you for joining me on this segment of the Wonders of the Mass. And remember, when you leave the Mass, live the Mass.